The Road to Sinnoh event is coming up in Pokemon Go, and you can actually get some free legendary and mythical Pokemon from it. In this video, I will be going through all of the event details, event tips, raid counters, raids worth raiding, and more. So the event runs from February 19th at 10 AM until February 23rd at 10 PM local time, and of course the Global Sinnoh Tour will be the 2 days that follow this event, and if you want to know more about Global Sinnoh Tour, you can check out this video, it will be linked in the description below. For the Road to Sinnoh event, the bonuses will be half hatch distance for eggs placed into incubators during the event. The remote raid limit will be increased to 10 from the 19th to the 22nd, and then from the 23rd to the 25th there will be no remote raid limit. The wild encounters will be Turtwig, Chimchar and Piplup, and the rare encounters will be Grottle, Monferno and Prinplup. In 2 km eggs will be Badoo, Chingling, Bonsly, Happiny, Munchlax, Riolu and Mantike. For the raids, in 1-star raids we'll have Turtwig, Chimchar and Piplup. In 3-star raids will be Grottle, Monferno and Prinplup. And in 5-star raids there'll be a different raid boss for each day of the event. On February 19th will be Darkrai, on the 20th will be Cresselia, on the 21st will be the Lake Trio in their respective regions, on the 22nd will be Heatran, and on the 23rd will be Origin Form Giratina. I will be going through the meta relevance for each of these raid bosses later on in the video to help you decide which to use your raid passes on. And I'll also be going through some raid counters for each of the bosses, so stay tuned for that. Each of the raid bosses will have their own raid days on the day that they are in raids, from 6 PM till 7 PM. During these raid hours only, Darkrai Court will know the legacy move Sludge Bomb, Cresselia will know legacy move Grass Knot, Heatran will know legacy move Magma Storm, and Giratina Origin will know legacy move Shadow Force. Again, I will be going through which of these moves are worth getting later on in the video. There will be a free timed research available throughout the event, which will reward encounters with Heatran, Giratina Origin Form, Cresselia and Darkrai, so make sure you definitely get this timed research done within the time limit. There will be event themed field research tasks rewarding items to help you prep for Sinnoh Tour Global, and there'll be new avatar items available in the shop: Giratina helmet, wings and jacket, Diamond Clan outfit and boots, Pearl Clan outfit and boots, and Team Galactic outfit. You can also pick up a free Go Tour 2024 tee for your avatar in the in-game shop, and there'll be event themed stickers available from opening gifts, spinning Pokestops and for purchase in the shop. There will also be 2 optional paid tickets you can purchase that will be active for the duration of this event and during the Global Sinnoh Tour event. The first ticket is the Road to Sinnoh Raids ticket that will cost $5, and it'll get you a timed research that rewards 10 Dialga and Palkia candies, 5 Heatran, Giratina, Cresselia and Darkrai Candy XL, and an Eevee fan mask for your avatar. You will also get bonuses of additional 5k XP from completed raids, you'll get 1 additional candy for catching Pokemon from raids, and you'll get an extra 2 raid passes from spinning gyms each day. The second ticket option is the Road to Sinnoh Hatch ticket. This ticket will also be $5, and it'll get you a timed research that rewards the Sinnoh regional Pokemon Pachirisu, Chatot and Carnivine. You will also get a Pikachu fan mask for your avatar, and you'll get the bonuses of 2 times Hatch, XP, Stardust and Candy. So that is all the details, but how can you make the most of this event? So with the half hatch distance, it'll only take you 1 kilometer to hatch a 2 kilometer event egg, or even less in a super incubator. But are the event eggs any good? Well, in these eggs, Badoo has some relevance, with Roserade being a decent grass type attacker and a top 10 poison type attacker. Munchlax is a possible hatch, and Snorlax is ranked 65 in the Master League. Riolu will also be hatching from these eggs, and Lucario is a top 10 fighting type attacker, and is particularly strong with Power Up Punch against Giovanni, which helps for knocking his shields down quick and taking out Persian. Lucario also does have a Mega Form coming up in the future at some point, and it will be the best fighting type attacker and a top 10 steel type attacker. And lastly, Mantike is of note because Mantine is ranked 10 in the Great League. Its perfect PvP IVs are 0, 15, 14, which would require trading to reroll the IVs low enough to get close to this because of the 10, 10, 10 IV floor from eggs. So if you do decide that you are going to be hatching a lot of eggs during the event, it might be worth picking up the $5 hatch ticket to get 2 times Hatch XP, Stardust and Candy. It's also worth noting that the regionals you do get from the ticket will also be available in 10 kilometer eggs during the Global Sinnoh Tour, and from these eggs the regionals will have boosted shiny rates. There will also be half hatch distance in the Global Sinnoh Tour, so you would be walking only 5 kilometers for these hatches or less in a super incubator. Unless you are trying to maximize your XP, Stardust and Candy gains, I don't really think the hatch ticket is worth $5, because to take full advantage of this ticket you would need to have multiple incubators, which will cost you Pokecoins as well. On the other hand, getting the regionals for the decks from this ticket will be easier because they are guaranteed, unlike the Sinnoh egg hatches, and it's also not guaranteed you'll pick up many 10km eggs in the first place, so that's something to bear in mind. When it comes to XP, there are no free bonuses, but if you did want to maximize XP, you could get the Road to Sinnoh raid ticket to get the additional 5k XP per raid. With the daily free raid pass and the 2 passes you get from the ticket, that would be an additional 15k XP per day if you did use all the passes. You could always use lucky eggs and star pieces to increase XP and Stardust gains respectively, but if you don't have many, I would recommend waiting to use them during events where there are XP and Stardust bonuses to get the maximum value. Also, with Origin Dialga's Roar of Time coming soon, it could be worth holding onto them until you can use the adventure effect that pauses the item timer. I would also recommend doing any Pokestop showcases that you do see, because even if you don't rank highly, you'll get some XP and Stardust, and if you do happen to rank highly, you could get premium items. If you are trying to place highly, then keep an eye on the time that the showcase finishes, because some people like to change their Pokemon to a higher ranking one right at the last second. When it comes to candy, you can always use peanut berries to increase your candy gains, but you can also Mega Evolve a Pokemon of the same type that you're catching to increase the amount of candy, Candy XL, and XP you get per catch. With there not being many wild encounters for the event, I would recommend Mega Evolving a Pokemon to increase candy gains from raid encounters. This would work most effectively during the raid hours. Alternatively, you could Mega Evolve a Pokemon to use as a raid counter. So to get increased candy and Candy XL for Darkrai, you could Mega Evolve Gyarados, Houndoom, Tyranitar, or Absol. For Cresselia and the Lake Trio, you could Mega Evolve Alakazam, Slowbro, Gardevoir, Medicham, Latios, or Latias. For Heatran, you could Mega Evolve Steelix, Scizor, Houndoom, Blaziken, Aggron, or Revert Groudon. And for Giratina Origin, you could Mega Evolve Gengar, Ampharos, Sceptile, Altaria, Banette, Salamence, Latias, Latios, Rayquaza, or Garchomp. For Mega Evolutions as raid counters, I will go through these along with other raid counters later on in the video. So getting 35 Platinum medals for the level 49 requirements is always something to keep an eye on. And in this event, it will be a great time to work on getting your Platinum Rising Star medal if you haven't raided any of the featured bosses before. Additionally, with there being so many Pokemon to raid during this event, it could be a good opportunity to work on your Champion Platinum medal. Getting the Road to Sinnoh raids ticket would help with this because of the 2 extra raid passes you'll get each day. It's also worth trading Pokemon, even the legendaries you get, because you will get an extra candy and a guaranteed XL per trade this season. Trading will also help you with your Platinum Gentleman medal and even your Platinum Pilot medal if there's a decent amount of distance between the traded Pokemon. So with that said, there are many different 5-star raid bosses available during this event, but what are the best counters for them? So starting with Darkrai, which is a dark type, making it weak to Fighting, Bug, and Fairy, the best Mega counters are Gardevoir, Blaziken, and Rayquaza. For Shadow counters, you could use Machamp, Hariyama, or Toxicroak amongst others. The best Legendary and Mythical counters will be Terrakion, Keldeo, Enamorus, and Galarian Zapdos. And for the best budget options, you could use Conkeldurr, Machamp, Lucario, Togekiss, or Hariyama. I would recommend 3 or 4 trainers to take down Darkrai. For Cresselia, it is a Psychic type, so it's weak to Bug, Ghost, and Dark type attacks. The best Mega counters are Gengar, Tyranitar, and Banette, but be careful using Gengar because its poison typing makes it weak to Psychic. The best Shadow counters will be Chandelure, Tyranitar, and Weavile. The best Legendary and Mythical counters will be Darkrai, Giratina Origin, and Hooper. And for the budget options, the best will be Tyranitar, Chandelure, Hydreigon, Weavile, and Gengar. For Cresselia, I would recommend 4+ trainers to be safe. For the Lake Trio, they are also Psychic type and weak to Bug, Ghost, and Dark type attacks, and you can use the same counters for these raid bosses that you use for Cresselia. I recommend 2 or 3 trainers to take on Azel, 3 or 4 for Mesprit, and 4+ for Uxie. And when it comes to Heatran, it is a Fire and Steel type, so it is weak to Fighting, Water, and double weak to Ground type attacks, so I highly recommend using Ground types. The best Mega and Primal counters will be Groudon, Garchomp, and Swampert. The best Shadow counters are Garchomp, Excadrill, and Rhyperior. For Legendary and Mythical counters, you could use both Thundurus and Groudon. And for the budget counters, the best will be Garchomp, Rhyperior, Excadrill, Mamoswine, and Golurk. I recommend 2 or 3 trainers to beat Heatran. And lastly, Giratina Origin is a Ghost and Dragon type, so it is weak to Ghost, Ice, Dragon, Dark, and Fairy type attacks. The best Mega counters are Rayquaza, Garchomp, and Tyranitar. The best Shadow counters are Tyranitar, Garchomp, and Salamence. For Legendary and Mythical counters, the best are Rayquaza, Kyurem, and Darkrai, and the best budget counters will be Tyranitar, Haxorus, Salamence, Hydreigon, and Garchomp. I recommend 3 or 4 trainers on average to beat this raid. Remember to party up if you can, because you can then use party power to make the raid easier. So out of all these raid bosses, which raid bosses are actually worth your raid passes? So Darkrai could be worth raiding because it is a top 10 dark type attacker and ranked 96 in the Master League. However, I would say this one is a comparatively lower priority because there are better dark type attackers that are a lot easier to get, and it's not that high of a rank in Master League. However, it is a mythical Pokemon, so it can't be lucky traded to farm the Hundo and Shundo. This means raiding it is the best way to obtain these. So Cresselia is one of the best Pokemon in the Great League, being ranked 2, and it is ranked 4 in the Ultra League. I would recommend raiding this one during its raid hour on the 20th to get Grass Knot because it is beneficial for it for Go Battle League. It's worth noting that if you are looking for a Cresselia for Great League, you would need to trade it to reroll the IVs low enough that its CP is underneath the Great League CP cap of 1500. You will, however, get a free Great League eligible Cresselia from the Road to Sinnoh timed research, so remember to get that done during the event because it will expire. Cresselia is a high priority if you play Go Battle League. So the Lake Trio don't have any meta relevance and they are region locked, but you can remote raid them from the other regions if you want to. These are low priority Pokemon to raid, so you could skip them. Heatran is a top fire type raid attacker and it is ranked 44 in the Master League. Again, I would recommend raiding it during its raid hour on the 22nd so you can get its legacy move Magma Storm. Heatran is a medium priority. Giratina Origin is worth going after because it is a top 5 ghost type raid attacker and it's also ranked 67 in the Ultra League and 13 in the Master League. I recommend raiding it during its raid hour to get Shadow Force if you want it as a raid attacker. I would put Giratina as a high priority for the Master League. So following this event is the Sinnoh Tour Global, and if you want to know more about it and some tips for it, then you can check out this video next.